the topic of today's presentation is how to use images to boost your marketing performance. I'm going to talk about images specifically, but the same concepts apply to videos. And also these images that you create based on the guidelines I'm going to give you guys can be superimposed as background. If you're doing a personal video like I'm doing right now, you can put it in the background of your video, or just slice it into your videos. If you're using images so what I'm covering today is applicable to videos, primarily to images, but also videos. And if you're building videos, even if you don't use these guidelines in the video itself, you should be using background and these images sliced in to achieve the objectives that I'm about to teach you guys, okay? So the first thing when you're creating an image or you're using an image in marketing or websites or anything that is performance related, okay, is to determine the specific goal of that image, okay? It's very important. If I tell you, and like 99% of marketers out there, if you ask them, why did you put this particular image in your ad, on a billboard, I don't know, 99%, maybe more of them know, but I want to say 99% don't, a large percentage don't know. A very small percentage of people are actually intentional about their images. So you gotta first determine what's the specific goal of that image. Is it to, and there are three options, three main buckets. Maybe there are more, but these three covers probably most use cases. The first one is to get engagement, get attention, engage, and clicks if it's an online image, okay? For example, in outward facing marketing materials on a billboard, in a Facebook ad, in a Google ad, display ad, anything that you have, that is outward. So somebody's about, they're going about doing their daily lives, or browsing a social media network. They are not thinking about you. In fact, we have mechanisms in our brain that ignores a lot of noise, okay? That mechanism is in our brain to protect us from getting distracted, okay? Because our brain has limited computational power. We have areas of focus. We have things that we're doing. And in marketing materials, the goal is to disrupt it. That's why it's called disruption marketing. Sometimes in old school marketing, they call it disruption marketing. The goal was to break monotony and grab your attention, okay? And then once your attention is gained, okay, then you can convey a short message and then take people maybe to take an action. If it's on a billboard or it's an ad, click on the ad or something like that. But one potential specific goal of an image is essentially getting attention, breaking monotony, and it's very appropriate for marketing materials in the outside world, where your ad, your material is competing with everybody else's. I always say marketing is very competitive. The goal of our training and our tools is to help you win that competition. So give you a little bit of edge that makes all the difference. Okay. So that's option one. Determine why you're creating that image. Is it to get attention? Or option two is to convey a specific emotion. Okay. To accompany a text. Most of the time, the goal is to convey an emotion. So you go to a website, or you go to an e-commerce website or normal website, you see a product, there's a product description, okay? So it's copy, benefit stack, FAQs, whatever it is. Or you're describing the pain that your solution solves, right? In that scenario, you want your image to convey a specific feeling, and I'm going to give you examples on the next slide. And I'm going to show you in our tool. You want to convey a specific feeling that kind of boosts a company's, or whatever term you want to use, your text. Okay. If you read the book Persuasion, it talks a lot about setting. Okay. So there's actually a study, if you want to present a grand business idea, for example, you better do that in a large place with tall ceilings, okay? Because people can think bigger when they're in that setting. In online marketing and websites and landing pages specifically, you can't change the environment that the user in. So where I'm sitting right now, this is the place where I'll be when I see your website or marketing copy or what have you. But I'm looking at the screen, so you want to convey a particular feeling to me. Example can be intrigue, example can be trust, an example is frustration. So it can be positive, it can be a mixed feeling, it can be a negative feeling, even if your text is talking about, like if there's a section on your website that is talking about the frustration or the pain point that you're trying to solve with your product, you accompany it with an image that conveys that. So kind of reinforces. I think the right term is reinforces your text copy. Does that make sense, guys? So that's option number 2. And you got to be very specific. I mean, it's difficult to come up with images that accomplish these goals. So you got to be very specific with your goals. Okay. Option number 3 is product presentation. So you are selling, let's say, a physical product via e-commerce, and you want to present your product so that people see what they're buying, as an example. Even in that scenario, I would argue that when it's a literal product presentation, image of a product, even in that scenario, I would argue it bleeds into option number 2, meaning you're no longer, if it is on your website, if it's outside your website, if you're doing like what's called a DPA ad for on Facebook for your Shopify store, as an example, then it bleeds into option number 1. So you need to use the elements in option 1 or option 2, even in your product presentation. As an example, you can use, for example, let's say you have a specific product image and you want to give it a feeling of cleanliness or delight or desire or intrigue. Okay. I would design a background, okay, using our tool that is, for example, using option number 2, which in our AI platform is called Hero Images. I'm going to get to that in a second. I would design that background and then I will superimpose your actual product on top of it. How many of you guys have you're driving on a highway and you see an image of a, let's say, Carl's Jr. like hamburger, right? So the way they present it, the colors they use, and the way they present it it brings a particular. It actually is option 2 and 3 combined. They're presenting a particular product to you, in which case a hamburger, okay? But they are using elements that I'm going to talk about in a second in option 2 to, for example, to appeal to your sense of hunger, desire. Does that make sense? Warmness. And in the image ad, do you guys understand what I'm talking about? You've seen good billboards that stand out, and then billboards that literally nobody sees. It's like they totally blend into an environment and nobody sees. You guys understand what I'm talking about before I dig deeper into this topic? Okay. All right, good. So you guys understand what I'm talking about. All of you guys have been exposed to marketing materials. It's just like, take these 3 options, and every time from now on, for the rest of your marketing career, okay, and even when you're studying someone else's website or ads or marketing materials, think to yourself, okay, what is the purpose of this image? That's literally how I think when designing a website. You want to maximize conversion, or an ad, you're like, okay, what's the goal? What's the goal here? Is it to pop out and grab attention. The goal is to give me a specific feeling, emotion. And if so, what emotion? The more specific you are with that, the better your marketing will be. Okay. Okay. Moving on. Now, um, once you have identified the specific goal of that image, again, the same concept applies to videos. And also, you can splice these images into your videos or use it as background on your website or your videos. Then you want to think yourself, okay, so what is the specific idea? Okay. And I'm going to talk about that in a second. That is going to be in the image. What's the specific idea? So you have the specific goal and then you have the specific idea. In our product, I'm going to switch for a second. If you look at these other apps that we have rolled out to you guys, they all have business description. But Scroll Stopper Ads and Hero Images, they have image idea. Image idea is a specific, okay? And you need to identify the image idea, okay, at plus levers. If you're not using our, I'll get to our tools in a second. I'm first teaching the overall concept and levers that achieve that specific objective. So you want a specific objective you've already identified. For example, you want to give people a feeling of calmness. Let's say you have a yoga studio, okay? So that is the feeling of, I want to say calmness, which is one of our options. So you want to have that feeling of zen and calmness, okay? Or you have like an app that does that, same thing. So, okay, so my specific objective is to convey, let's say this is not outward, it is on my website. Okay, it's on my website. So it's no longer about grabbing attention. It's about giving a feeling of calmness to accompany my text that is going to talk about how our app or our yoga studio or what have you gives you that feeling. Okay, so you have an image and a text combined, okay, to maximize delivery of the message to a visitor to your website. Okay, you guys understand how I think now. So when you're building a website, specific objective. Okay, now in order to achieve this specific objective, I need to think of a specific image idea, which I'm going to talk about in a second, and two, I need to identify all the levers. Now, the good news is there are a lot of levers you can push and pull to help you convey a particular feeling. For example, lighting is one of them. If you want it to be mysterious, dark lighting. If you want it to be bright and open, really good lighting. Colors is a big one, like earthy colors and green. Those kind of colors imply health. Blue implies like calmness. Red implies desire. Like if you think of my Carl's Jr. burger example, I can't actually exactly remember the billboard, but I'm sure they use a lot of red. Am I right on that? I think these food billboards use a lot of red in them. Okay. Do you guys remember? Do you guys what I'm talking about? Carl's Jr. Carl's Jr. billboards always stood out to me because it's always red and yellow. Yes, exactly. Those are like colors of desire. Perspective and depth are also very important. So is it a flat image or there are things further out? Okay. And especially for outward looking, if your objective is to grab attention, perspective helps. And our tool automatically does it. But if you're not using our tool, try to pick images that have depth and perspective in them. Facial expressions, obviously. Okay, so if you're conveying frustration, you want the image of the person that is placed next to a copy that explains the pain point that you're solving to have that also same expression. Angles, so low angles versus high angles on the face, different feelings. Texture and pattern of the image. Context is another one. Composition. Narrative elements, things that imply a particular thing. For example, olive branch obviously implies peace. Okay, so things like that. Now you can place elements in your image that imply a particular feeling, and other sensory feelings, like make something, even though it's an image or a video and it doesn't have smell, through these signaling through these images, you can appeal to other sensory other than visual. You can appeal to other sensory elements of your visitor, such as smell, taste, and stuff like that, or even sound. You can make the make make the image actually feel like it's screaming. It's loud, even though there's no sound. Does that make sense, guys? DoorDash, what color is DoorDash? I think it is red, if I'm not mistaken. Is DoorDash red? Somebody knows? Okay, yeah, DoorDash is red. Okay. Yeah, the logo is red. It's like kind of desire. And also red also implies speed. Okay. This is more important than you guys think. So these are, if you have a product that people don't want, okay, so you have a bad product concept. Not that is bad, it's just like something that the market doesn't want. Product market fit is not there, like I always say. These things don't really have an impact, okay? But once you have a product that the market wants and you have competitors and you want a tiny edge, these things are all subliminal cues, I want to say, or psychological triggers that kind of gets the visitor, in the right mental space to absorb your message. Okay. All right. Now, pro tip. This one, I see you guys. Some of you guys send us what you're trying to do. Some of you guys. Is it the best image ideas? Let me start there, and then I'm going to tell you guys some of the mistakes I've seen. So best image ideas are specific objects or people in scenarios that convey the satisfaction of the end result of your product. Okay, so if it is a service, or like if you're a real estate brokerage firm, end result is that, oh, the person bought a house, just that good feeling of, okay, I just closed this house, I just bought this house, and I'm getting the key to go into my house. Okay. If it is I'm going to use an example of a car wash, you want to focus on the end result, not the mechanics of how it is, not car going through the, process. It's like end result, a clean car. Okay. And the more specific you focus on the desired outcome, or the specific objects. Okay. Sometimes I see, as an example, now I'm switching gears a little bit. Sometimes in the image idea, I see our users put their business plan in it or business model in it. The user doesn't care. Okay. The user doesn't care about how your business works or how you make money or this is what we do. Nobody cares about what you as a business owner or the marketer do. Everybody cares about the end result for themselves. Okay. So put yourself in the shoes of the visitor, the customer, the end user, the client. And then, I mean, hopefully your product gives them satisfaction. So it gives them a good feeling at the end. Okay. So focus on that. And then think of objects, specific objects or ideas that encompasses that specific feeling that the user gets at the end of their journey with you. Does that make sense, guys? So that's a pro tip, and I'm going to show it in action in a second. Again, avoid abstract concepts, like super abstract things. Focus on a specific, tangible things that an image can actually convey. Okay. Leave, like, specific, like the put a specific object to convey a specific feeling. Avoid, if you have an abstract idea, like the best place to say it is probably the hook or benefit stack. It's not in the image itself. Leave images specific, okay? And avoid trying to explain your business model. Nobody cares. Okay. You've been users of many products. Do you care how that business operates? No. So why do you put your business model in image ad description? The end user does not care. And also not only avoid abstract concepts, but also avoid complex concepts. So in my brokerage, for like real estate brokerage firm business, not that I have one, I'm just using as an example. Like if you're doing marketing for a real estate firm, you don't want to talk about every step of the process. Maybe your onboarding is super simple, okay? In which case you want to come up with a concept that just focuses on onboarding, or whatever is the process. You don't want to focus on the entire process because it's too much information to jam into a single image. Okay, the best place for that is in your copy. You want to have a simple idea that conveys a specific feeling. That's, I guess, what I'm trying to say. Simple idea, image idea that conveys a specific feeling. So avoid complex concepts, avoid abstract concepts, avoid putting your business model in there. Think of a specific object or a specific person, client at the end of their journey. That's a good place to start. Okay. All right. Now are you guys with me so far? Does that make sense? And I'm going to switch to the tool a little bit. In general, whether you use our tool or not, you don't have to use AI. These principles are overall principles. Okay. So even if you're selecting images from your inventory, you need to apply these principles. Okay. Now, switching to tactical. Okay. So we rolled out. So for those of you guys who have access to the software, scroll stopping ads, the goal there is you put the image idea there. By the way, we have a small change in the UI. All the advanced options now are here. You can toggle all different elements that are used to accomplish the goal and change the color palette and all that. So we didn't take it away. It's just like simplify the UI, putting it under advanced options. Right here, you can open and close. The objective of a scroll stopping ads image generator is option number 1. Okay. The objective of hero images, which goes on your landing page, or if you send emails to your customers, like as a newsletter, okay, you've already gotten their attention. They're on your website already, or they're already on your email list and they've opened your email and they're reading your email. So you have their attention. So the objective switches. Okay. The objective of those kind of images is different than scroll stopping ads. Scroll stopping ads is just to break the monotony, get attention in the outside world. Once they are in your ecosystem, the objective changes, and the objective becomes here. Number 2 is to convey a specific emotion, evoke it in the user on the website, email marketing materials, and all that, so that image reinforces your text copy. So that image reinforces your text copy. So text copy, if you have text copy tools, you can also write your own copy. Whatever you're saying, you want to come up with images, you can use it as background image for that particular section. You can use it to right-hand side. People use it differently, or you use it at the top of the page as a hero image. Hero image is normally refers to the image that is at the top of the page and it's the first thing that the user sees. But the feature can be used anywhere else on the page or can be used in emails. Okay. And in this field, so in this particular example, I picked a car wash, and it's a car wash, let's say, that focuses on is a high-end car wash, focuses on luxury. It's a touchless, whatever they call it, car wash for high-end cars. So, and then I picked a specific object which is a clean car after. Remember, focus on the end result to the user. Nobody cares about the inside of your car wash, okay? Or your waiting area. Nobody cares. So somebody has a car that they love, they bring to your car wash, and then they get the car back, okay? So that's the end result. Now, you can have a car after, you can put here a sparkling clean car or a luxury car here. Don't explain your business model. Again, focus on a specific object, end result. So, or you can say, in this case, I went even more specific. I just focused on the wheels of the car, sparkling clean wheels of a luxury car. I did it twice, actually 4 times. You can see the images right here. So I first added like the first 2. I put after a car wash. Okay. Like it was like that first. I generated these 2 images. You can see how it focuses on the end result, right? And the first one is, I want to say, was intrigued. The second one, I used delight. They probably create similar type products. It's not inspiration. It's like inspiration is the wrong emotion for this landing page. You want delight. You want something like that, okay? So it picks a color palette and everything accordingly. And then I removed the after a car wash, and then I got these 2 images. It now becomes a matter of taste. I don't like this one as much. I don't know, Terry, you can tell me. This one I think is amazing.
Yeah, I love that one.
You agree, right?
That one's pretty cool too. I like this one better though.
The white one? I think this is
the one above.
The one above. Yeah, that's what this is like without after the car wash. And these also were cool. I liked them. This implies a car wash in it. So it's like, you guys get the idea. So I'm going to stop for a second. I'm going to see what questions there are. Can we use hero images for marketing ads, or it's not recommended? So, I mean, you can do whatever you want. So I'm just telling you what the app is designed to do. And if you see an image that you really like, doesn't matter what created it. Okay, actually, good. Actually, let's do a poll. This is number 1. Let me scroll down quickly. I'm actually interested to see what people think. This is number 1. This is number 2. This is number 3. This is number 4. So put your preferred number 4, 4, 4, 1, 4. Number 1, number 4, 4, 2, 4. Interesting. Okay. It's interesting. So number 1 and 4. So essentially, it seems like some people like number 2, which is this one. This is number 1. And this is number 4. So you guys get, at this point, you're talking about like your personal preferences and stuff. If it is an actual car wash, I would probably use this one, I want to say. Because it implies it's pretty clean. It's really good. But I might do number 1. Either way, it's like essentially this becomes like at this point, it's a matter of like creating multiple images and just look at it in context. If you want to change a color palette because you have a particular website color, again, advanced options, we simplify the UI. The emotions, there are frequently used ones, okay? And then there's positive feelings. You have quite a few options. I'm going to scroll down. You can also type search here to see if we have support that specific feeling. And if you have feelings that you want us to support, you can tell us. Negative emotions. If we have mixed emotions somewhere here. Yeah, here we go. Neutral and mixed emotions. Like, nostalgia is a good example. So, and negative emotions, you can also use negative emotions in particular sections of your website. And then if you have particular colors you wanted to use, or more importantly, if you want to tone down the image, if you want to tone it down, you can selectively tone down. I find myself, not in this one, but in ad scrolling, sometimes I turn off textures and patterns, because textures and patterns can also give you a specific feeling. For example, hard surfaces versus soft surfaces, like they have different obviously they give you different feelings. Um, so I mean, it's up to you. You can micro toggle it. Default is pretty good, but you can change it. And you can change the aspect ratios, image type. You can go from, by default, this one is on photograph. If you want more of a digital artwork type thing, you just switch it. And image style is modern. You can go futuristic, minimalistic. You can change those. And then you can pick a specific color palette if you really want. But if you're open to colors, it's probably better because we already have one that picks color palette based on the feeling that you want to convey to the visitor. It's up to you guys. You can, that's all of these are in the advanced options. Okay. So I'm going to take some questions now. Be great if you could add a short description about each advanced options. We do have descriptions here. So it's just maybe we need to use a tooltip here to make it more clear, but I think pretty much most things are labeled. Here, facial expression and poses and images express a range of emotions. And in the back end, we deal with it. Aspect ratio, here, aspect ratio. They all have labels, so you just need to hover over. I think we should add a tooltip. It's just, my team is very minimalistic, and they want to use minimum amount of things in the UI to keep it clean. That's why. Now, one other thing, let me take some more questions and I add some more color. Is there an option to add? Yes, you can type in whatever. If the colors are not in our pre-selected stuff, you can just type it in here. Okay. So if you click red, it gives you that, or you can just type it in, like whatever, pastel as an example. And then click outside, or actually enter, sorry. Right. Yeah. So you just type the color and press enter, although we add pastel here, but whatever color you want. Is it possible to upload photos? Not yet. No. So we don't have the ability. So for option 3 in my presentation, we don't have that ability. I would love to get there, but the foundational models aren't good enough to get there. Give it another generation or two, and we will get there. AI, as you know, is rapidly evolving. As foundational models on which we build evolve, we get more and more abilities. And then essentially what we do is we take those models, and I use my best marketing expertise and everybody else's to fine-tune tools to help you guys get a competitive edge. Can we do the same with videos in the future? That's the idea. We will get to videos at some point. Okay, is there a word count limit for the description text box? There is, but I don't know it from the top of my head, Grace. Is there a limit to a number of images a day? There is. So there is. I know you guys ask number of limits. Some of you guys hit it, not very often. We are playing with different ways of implementing a cooldown period, because this is really, like, can become really expensive. So we are playing with cooldown periods. It's a work in progress. I don't have a hard limit I can tell you guys, because we might change it tomorrow. So, but we have put it as high as we can. That is reasonable and gives like a very heavy user the ability to generate a lot of images. And relatively few people hit it, so I'm happy with it. The aspect ratio available I see are for stories, real, square. Yes, I believe there is 4. Yes, so we can add other aspect ratios. It's just a matter of like, okay, so UI complexity versus comprehensiveness, but it's a good suggestion. 4 to 5 aspect ratio is a good one. Actually, I'm going to take a note. We might add that, because that happens in a lot of scenarios. How can we create reels and feed image dimension? So the images that we generate for hero images, you can go to here. That's like a reel dimension. So this by default is for hero images. The default is landscape, because when you go to most websites, especially if you have a section and you want to use the image as a background with a magic hook or something bold and nice on top of it, maybe your logo even. The default is landscape, but you can click on advanced options and then you can change it to vertical for your Instagram reel or story or TikTok or what have you, and square for feed. Let me see. Is it possible to upload photo? I answered that already. Is there an option to us? Colors, different colors. I see you're British or Australian because you spelled color with a U. Let me know, Trish. Let me see. Can we see an example for shorts? I'm not sure what shorts is. You mean YouTube shorts? These create images. You can take your image, and we do it, by the way, in advertisement all the time. We take a lot of ads that you see are generated using our AI, and then we animate it or we put a music on it and we generate a short video from it. Let's see. Let's say I need more agents into my financial firm services. They only need minimal school degree, but I'm having a hard time to make this career fun. There's a lot of possibilities in career model, but I don't too effective with my first touch rate with people who love to involve. And great, that seems like that is not related to what I'm saying, Melanie. If you're talking about generating images to run ads to get or on your landing page, then think about a successful career. Okay, what's the end result? And in your particular business, and just describe an image that accomplishes that.